Hi, RocketJump Film School. I'm Rachel Robb Kondrath. I'm a film and television production designer. I work on a show on Comedy Central called Drunk History. And we're here at History for Hire Prop House, and we're going to take a look at where some of the industry's props and set dressing come from. Come on, let's go. Props and set dressing really are the environment that your story is taking place in. So if you think about a story in a vacuum, a character standing on a blank piece of paper, that's what it is without props and set dressing. Props and set dressing are what allow the character to live in a world that you want them to live in. Well, so here we are. Christine, you're gonna show us around History for Hire.
Right, I am. So this is our sales lobby that you'll see as we go through. This is where if you have an order, you would come in and you bring it to a salesman and they would check it out for you. These cameras are 1920s, 1930s. They are newsreel cameras, but also at that time you'll have a camera like this, which is a pancake Akeley, which was also used for feature films. So these cameras were used both for features and as well as for the newsreels that you saw before the film.
Were some of these cameras used to shoot movies that we know about or that we might have seen?
Yeah, this whole back section of these cameras here were used for Men in Black 3 for when they were shooting the rocket launch scene in Cape Canaveral. So over on this side of the room, so these are 1980s era, early 90s, 1980s, and then we go down from there to basically the beginning of when photography was really popular. And then we have some Graflex cameras. You would have to carry a bunch of not only film, but also a bunch of flash bulbs with you, so you're not taking as many pictures as you do digitally now.
And because flash bulbs themselves are sometimes really expensive, some of these bulbs are, $5, $10, $15, $16 per bulb, so that's every time one light goes off, that's how much it costs. So one of the best things about working with History for Hire is that not only do they have the stock, but they have the staff who know exactly what moment in history we would need that thing for.
We'll go down our popular TV camera aisle. These cameras here have been used in a lot of X-Men movies. We actually have TV cameras that go till about the early 2000s, which is not something that's generally something we do. We basically stop about 1980 is where our level of history stops. This is one of our favorite props. This is the crane that went out on the artist. This did not come with a chair. So we actually had that fabricated and worked up so that the chair would be up there.
Right here, guys. First position, everybody. Quiet, please. Everybody on your marks.
Our custom shop guy who made this went through and he actually wrote the brand of the mask that it is, where it was used, how it was used, so that you can come in and say, oh, I need a catcher's mask from whatever time period. This actually was used in the movie 42. So this is our custom shop. Basically, it looks like just any other workshop. And our guys are actually really good. Like if there's any damage or if there's something that really breaks either in the warehouse or on a show or something like that, they can fix it to the best of the ability that they have. Like our bicycles. Our bicycles have to work and they have to be safe. So what we'll do is we'll have the custom shop come back and they'll make sure that there's air in the tires and that the brake works and that, as you're riding around on it, that it works well for what you guys need and it's safe. That's the one thing that we want to make sure that when your actors are all safe on set.
Well, yeah, one of the important things in working with actors is that everything the actors touch has to be safe for the actors, and the actor also has to be safe for the object. So sometimes you have to reinforce something that's normally very fragile to make it safe for an actor to hold, because just the actor using it can damage it.
So this is our music section. The music section started with the Elvis miniseries. This guitar was used and is a likeness to Joan Jett's guitar for The Runaways, and this is the case that was in.
Excuse me, I don't think you want to do that right now.
So our Vietnam section here was what started the prop house with Platoon. Our military section is broken down by war and then broken down by country. So we're actually standing in, this side is US, this side is Viet Cong for some of the items. But we don't carry uniforms anymore. This is actually just a prop and set dressing.
All of the wardrobe is going to be wardrobe department, but all of the items that attach to it, all the belts and all the weapons and all the sacks are going to be props. And so prop master can come in here and look at this example and say, that's what I want 20 of those.
This is actually our Axis power section, as you can see by the Nazi flags, but we also have Italy and Japan on this side as well.
The specificity of a lot of these items is really thorough, to the point where you might have a box here listed with Japanese paper goods, medical items, and cigarettes, versus over here we have German bread bag straps. So when you're doing a period piece, the level of detail that you have to get down to is not just, they're Nazis and they're in uniforms and they have this kind of gun and this kind of gear, but making sure that every buckle on every uniform is the right kind of buckle. And that's something that History for Hire is a big help with, and that we do here.
You want to go see if Richard's available?
Yes.
Okay, let's go see if he's available. He may go to lunch. So this is Richard. He's our graphics artist.
Hello.
Richard has gone through the years and he's made all these, but he's done the research for a prop master. So all I have to do is come in and look at the board and say, oh, I need 1911 cigarettes. Well, there they are.
Essentially, everything I do here is script driven. It's whatever the writer writes, you then have to kind of make it visible. I'm almost saying I'm either making old things look new or new things look old. So luckily, with the assistance of the computer though, you can actually pretty much have a shot at knowing what something looks like, and how well you can create it is kind of up to you.
So we're here in the research library.
This library is open to any of our clients. We have all the Sears catalogs that go back from until about 1894.
As a designer or a decorator or prop master, when you want to look at how something changed over history, a really great thing to do is to look at the Sears catalog and see, in this year, what was the thing that they were selling and what would have been in department stores and what would have been in homes and things like that. And another really great thing is you can see how much things cost. And so we actually have to do research into what an item would cost at a certain time and the value of money, so that all of the signage around our set is going to be accurate to telling how much something costs. If you are on a low budget project and you come into a prop house and you really want to get the most out of your production value, the best thing to do is have a few really important items that are more expensive that help tell your story. There's been a few episodes of Drunk History that have taken place on the deck of a Civil War steam paddle ship. Now, there are not a lot of steam paddle ships that still exist in the world, even in museums and things like that, so we often have to improvise. And we rented this giant ship's wheel, and we put the ship's wheel on the deck of a camp cabin at a campground. And we turned the camp cabin into the wheelhouse of a Civil War steam paddle ship. One of the best things to do is to pick a piece of technology that you can put kind of front and center that'll sell the time period, and then have the other things in the room be much more generic and over a broader period, and then you can put your money into the thing that's going to sell it.
Any other advice you would give about being at a prop house?
Well, I would say an important thing to know about being at a prop house is that all of the items, especially somewhere like History for Hire with such historical things, all of the items are real items and are as delicate or fragile as those items might be if you were to encounter them in real life. Some of them are almost museum pieces because they're actual historical relics. Even though some of the items are worn, some of them are worn because they're meant to look used, and some of them are worn because they've been around for so long. You just want to be careful with them and handle them with care and respect them. And then if there's something that seems fragile or that seems confusing, then ask questions of the staff members, because they'll have staff that know how to work each of the items that you're using. Thanks so much for taking a tour of History for Hire with us. I hope you get the chance to really think about props and set dressing and how they can help tell your story.